The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
It's like you've got a blind spot for Jesse's butt and fart. Namaste.
Welcome along to The Real Pod. This is your reality TV and real life in New Zealand podcast, brought to you by The Spin-off, hosted by me, Jane Yee, and I'm joined by Alex, Casey, and Duncan Grieve of The Spin-off. Hi, guys.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Doug.
Hello, Jane. Hello, Alex.
Oh, Duncan, I hear it in your voice. Things are heavy.
Yeah, they're heavy for everyone, you know. Like, I'm not special, but I'm not carrying it as like stoically as I would hope, you know.
Oh, it's such a rough time. But we're all in isolation, just like everyone else. It doesn't even need to be said anymore. How's ISO going? Are you slowly all coming undone at the seams, or is this like dream come true?
I just haven't moved. I haven't moved, and now I've got just a very set like day look. You might notice I've been wearing this grizzly sweatshirt every day because I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything active. So I have this theory. I mean, it's been a point of contention for me and Joe that I think if you wear a pair of socks and you don't really walk and you don't put shoes on, you can wear them another day.
Of course you can.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's about where I'm at.
I think considering the goal at the moment is to like stay where you are, do as little moving about the community as possible. Everyone should be putting on their Fitbits and their Apple Watches and trying to get the lowest step count of their lives from a day-to-day basis. And instead of competing with our friends as to who's getting the most steps, it's the complete opposite. And this is a challenge I'm up for. This is a challenge that was designed for me. Couch to fridge, fridge to couch, couch to fridge, fridge to couch, couch to fridge, fridge to couch, couch to bed, bed to fridge.
Toilet, Jane, toilet.
No.
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 Not even that.
We are brought to you by Nando's. The lovely folks at Nando's are our sponsors and currently shut up shop for the lockdown. But
you've seen that video of the girl crying because Nando's is shut. Did we talk about it last week?
We did.
We did, but there were no weeks.
Yeah.
There are no weekends. Yeah.
I don't know what day it is. Is it Monday?
I keep thinking it's Wednesday, but it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's got a strong Wednesday vibe, but it is Tuesday.
It's crazy, man.
So last night was the final of The Bachelorette. Oh, I need to play the sting, don't I? I don't need to tell anyone where we are on Facebook or anything, do we?
We've talked about how we're doing, eh?
Yeah.
I'm not even in the corner anymore. I keep trying to quit Facebook and then I'll like see that my account's still active somehow. I think it's just somehow reviving me, but just the knowledge that the corner is there, that the Real Pod Corner exists, is like, it's one of the few unambiguously good things that I have no complicated feelings about in the world. So shout out to the cornies. Even though I can't see them, I can feel them. The
corners is being great is a great source of entertainment and comfort during our time of isolation. They're running their own watch parties of old reality TV series and so on, and the Bachelorette live chats have been going crazy. So
1.3 K.
Well, there was one that was 1.7 the other day. 1.7
Really?
comments. So they're gonna. I think they're gunning for 2 for the After the Final Rose. By the time you are listening to this, the After the Final Rose will have been and gone. So, I just want to say, this was. I have to say it. This was going to be our last podcast, because Alex Casey is due to bid farewell to the spin-off this week. You feeling all right, Alex?
I feel crazy. Look at my hair. It's all just... I washed my... That's the other thing
good.
that's happened. I was going to do the, like, no wash your hair sort of thing and make it all natural. And then I washed it and now it's gone real weird. Like, it's changed. Its chemical makeup's changed. So I look a little bit frazzled. But I also am frazzled. This is supposed to be... Well, this is my last week at the spin-off. I am starting a new job next week in the middle of global chaos, and maybe that just feels appropriate. Like, that's kind of the Real Pod way, right? You just...
Yeah. And we sort of, I think we thought that maybe your new job wasn't going to start and we would just keep putting through the pandemic. Like, that's what we were thinking last week, but then it turns out your new job is starting next week. And so this, technically kind of is the last Real Pod, but then none of us are prepared to deal with that fact and do all the lovely send-offs.
No.
That's it. It just doesn't feel like emotionally... Like, the thing is, as much as I'm, like, shell-shocked and fucked, like, you guys are both dealing with bigger things than me, by far, so I should stop whining. And it's like, I certainly don't feel in a place to emotionally deal with the end of the Real Pod. Like, the hour that I can reliably say will be
the good hour.
Great every week, you know. The rest of them, they come and they go, but Real Pod's always good, and I'm not prepared to to definitively close that door right now.
So
I still think it's like we can go back to the bargaining phase.
Yeah,
right, because we can still be a podcast. We just can't talk about reality television anymore, if that's something the cornies are willing to accept. And, you know, I think people like us the most when we're just talking about, you know, doing the kangaroo and all the other great things that we love.
By the way, if there was ever a time to try the kangaroo, now's the time. You got lots of time to clean afterwards, you know?
Pandemic kangaroo, yeah. Or is that how...
Is that how it all started? I think that, I think it's too much for us at the moment to deal with, so we're just going to figure something out whereby we do something and we don't know what that is or when it will be, but it's just we're just kind of we're kind of lying in the gutter, just limping around at the moment, and as long as there's any life left in us, we'll figure something out. We owe everyone a Twilight pod, if nothing else.
Yeah,
right?
I think that would be a good way to go, even if it's just for a little while, with Edward Cullen and all the gang.
God, the gang. Okay, so let's get on with the podcast today. It's definitely not our last ever podcast. It's just a good time.
I have 4 weeks to decide if I'm going to drop my entire life fee.
I am disgusted at how much you have copied my husband.
This is fine. I don't even...
Reality check.
Okay, so that's it. It's the end of Bachelorette NZ. It's all done and dusted. How you guys feeling?
What a show that was, though. Can I just say, like, when we look back at, like, I know that it felt like towards the end that it was just like, oh my God, we've been in Argentina for 1,000,000 years. But when we went right back to the start and seeing, like, Glenn and all the things from the beginning, it was just like, wow. A lot has happened. We've been through a lot together.
It feels like, you know, when you watch these shows, often the recapping is too much. And throughout the season, it was a lot. But then when it came to after the final rose and they started recapping stuff, I was like, I can't deal, I've seen all this. But then I realised I'd completely forgotten about 7 or 8 of the guys. And so it was actually really nice to be reminded about them. And then to kind of see some of the main players early on again when we didn't know that they were main players was kind of fun too.
I think, like, the thing with this season is that it had easily enough to be a great season. They just had to spread it really thin, which is just the nature of the the current reality TV economy in New Zealand, is that you do the same stuff that you always did, but you make it go 3 times as far because you're, it's like it's the war, and you have to, spread your rations out amongst the family, and no one's getting as much porridge as they want. But actually, the fundamentals, if you look at the key story beats of this, your Glens, your 2 bachelorettes, your mole, your happy dance when they're going to Argentina. It's just the crazed anger of Jesse at AMOG, at AMOG's complete descent into wherever he went. Like it was more than enough. It just felt like too much because it was. But the fundamentals of it were astounding.
Okay, so I guess we kind of, even though we normally do things in chronological order, we really need to talk about the result, the wins, the losses, and then we can kind of go back over how it all came to be. So, absolutely no surprise to anyone, Richie was Lily's number 1. Jessie came in at number 2. AMOG and Logan both dished before the final race.
Take a long walk down Piha Beach to nowhere, AMOG.
There was such a funny moment because I just was like, what happens? Is he waiting for someone to call cut, or does he just go off and catch an Uber at this point?
He's walking down to the Razza to get a bloody happy hour pint.
Oh, don't blame him. Don't blame him. How are you guys feeling about the results?
It was a crazy shock, but definitely after seeing the final rose and also seeing the extra footage of Aaron like sobbing.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Oh, we've got a bit of a BBC moment. Hi, Jill.
That's right. I know. He was summoned.
What's that? Coke Zero.
Ice cold fizz, Coke Zero.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Seeing just how destroyed Aaron was in that car kind of fucked me up a bit.
Oh.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
It was very real. And I'm surprised they didn't put it in the show. But I guess maybe they didn't want, maybe it was already too intense having 2 of them go. I don't know. But yeah, it was, very clear in that moment just how much that meant to him. And that, it all feels kind of pretend. And I think a lot of that's because Lesina, has a certain way of conducting herself. But that he was all in, in a very AMOG way. And yeah, it was quite sad, I thought.
I felt that. I felt sorry for AMOG. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for Lesina. It looked like a real interaction. Right at the last minute, there was a real interaction between the 2 of them that made me understand a little bit more of their connection and the depths of feelings and so on. That I feel like was just lost when they were super self-conscious about being on camera for the rest of the whole entire season.
I don't know, I definitely felt extremely sorry for Aaron because the guy was really committed. He'd done all the things you're meant to do, he dropped L-bombs, unsolicited, all of the things which were meant to kind of he exposed himself to the possibility of an abject emotional disaster, and that is what befell him. And you could sense that he was very aware of the potential for that. I guess I just I do struggle a bit with the fact that Lesina clearly had feelings for him. She didn't she didn't think that they were going to become a sort of Prince Charming fairy tale kind of thing, but at the same time, you look at Lily and Richie, and they're not even pretending like they're anything close to exchanging I love yous. You can't it would have been very easy to just it's the New Zealand bachelorette way, absent Adam Batut is to just basically agree to date for a period of time and occasionally see one another.
Duncan,
you would never enter your bubble,
So you think that she just should have given it a red hot go?
Yeah.
I not be more on a different page to you on this.
Wow.
Despite being quite bored by some of Lesina's storyline, she obviously didn't feel in a position to even date Aaron, and so why should she, just because she's on a TV show, just to appease us?
But then she did.
What do you
They
mean?
clearly they dated subsequent to the show. That was in after the final rose.
Dated or just like saw each other a couple times?
They caught up. But
They
who
caught up.
knows what that
But
means?
that's a girl's prerogative. She doesn't have to stick a label on it. And by getting together at the end of the show is definitely putting a label and a pressure on it that she wasn't prepared to do. And I think genuinely that the experience wasn't what she imagined it was going to be. She's fallen out with Warner Brothers, I guess, because she's not like, neither of them are following each other on Instagram. I don't know what's going on there. Alex,
she's in the ED. No, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I think she's just like in denial, and she's living a different reality now.
She's living
on
a
her
completely
Instagram,
different
like-
reality. I don't think. I think that the sooner she can shake this all off, the better, as far as she's concerned. But I do think that no one should feel obligated to make someone their boyfriend just because Duncan Grieve reckons they should.
Okay, please, Cornies and anyone listening, that is not what I said. I just thought that would have been like the logical thing to do, given that she did have strong feelings for him, and even if they weren't forever love feelings, they were just like worth seeing what it's like when the cameras aren't there kind of feelings.
I don't think she had that strong of feelings for him, is the thing. I think
But what about when they stayed the night in that lovely yurt, and the next day it looked like a little nudie hug?
Yeah,
As they
definitely.
say. Which is also like, you can do that and that's fine.
Well, she might
But
have
I
had
was-
strong
I
loiny
guess I
feelings
was
without having
confused.
strong heart feelings.
She was very attracted to him. Yeah, and she says that. She says that herself. Look, I think it's fine that Lesina chose nobody. I think it's good as well that she cut it off before the final rose.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that would have been rough as guts. Even seeing, like, seeing how even Jessie and Lily reacted in that moment having to do it, how much more intense that would have been for her, and how much more hate she would have got, I think, if she had dragged on till then. So, I don't know, at least she had the decency to do that. Aaron could have worn different shoes on the beach, but that's his prerogative. Could have worn a humble rock shoe for that kind of.
And again, I just want to make it clear that Aaron is entitled to wear whatever shoes on the beach that he likes. He doesn't have to choose his shoes based on what Alex Casey thinks.
I'm sorry.
What about socks?
No, he never wears socks. Sockettes at most.
Sockettes. I don't know, there's endangered dotterels around there. You can't just be clomping along in brogues like the King of France.
King of France!
France hasn't had a king in ages.
That's Logan.
Logan is definitely the King of France. Or at least the Little
That
Prince.
yurt, though, can we go back to that yurt? Shit, that yurt looks cool.
It
That
did
was
look cool.
Romance City, especially with the bloody misty cloud the next morning.
Okay, let's go through.
I
Should
was
we
like,
go through?
Just stay there.
We'll go through the events of the last couple episodes. So we started with the cliffhanger where Lily was trying to decide if she was going to give her, in the penultimate rose ceremony, if she was going to give her rose to Quinn or Richie, and Jessie was already in possession of a rose, and she gave it to Richie, which was not a surprise, but still broke my heart for Quinn. So good looking.
Poor Quinn. Quinn trying not to cry was very sad.
Did you workshop that, or was that just on the
It
fly?
just came out. I wasn't even sure when I started saying if I
man.
should keep doing it, but I just did it. Who cares?
That was like frickin' jazz.
It was just really intense, like doing that, like blinky, sniffy, like, yeah, all good, like, you know, that like man thing. Oh, kill me. Quinn for Bachelor, right? Quinn for Bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make it happen.
if we could knew someone who could make it happen, that would be great.
I don't know how much power I'm gonna have, but
anything could
definitely
happen
send a
these
meme,
days.
though.
Or at least a meme. Okay, so Now we're down to our top 4, 2 apiece. And we start off in Wellington, where... who was it first? Jessie? Jessie makes an appearance first, or Richie? Richie.
Jessie.
Jessie.
It was Richie. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
No, I think it was Jessie.
No, it was... Oh my God, I don't know. No, it was Richie. It was Richie.
And, yeah, it was Richie.
And Mum came in... cap, which outraged spin-off employee Mark Kelleher. He was like, that's not on. That is not on. If you're meeting the parents, you take your cap off.
I feel like a cap is quite dressy formal for someone who decides drop crotch pants.
True.
Is that like a
That's
tux?
his only love, is drop crotch. Before Lily was drop crotch pants.
Yeah.
That was a cool confession.
Mum came in with the hard questions. Ever been in jail? Ever been married? Have you got children? Do you swear? Those sorts of questions. Didn't find out who his favourite Friends character is, sadly, but he obviously he passed the mum test. Interesting addition to the family circle, Molly.
The mole!
Yeah.
The original mole!
Yeah.
The greatest
you know
mole.
who else passes the mum test is Alex Casey. Got the biggest hug from Lily's mum.
True.
Oh, really?
The final rose.
Yeah. We're mates.
Just in love.
She's cool.
How does she
So
know
cool.
Lesina's
about...
mum's cool as well. How's she know about me, Jane? Well, I don't know.
She reads the rankings. She's a big rank head.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a rank head. What else?
Hey, can we? Who is the man that's not the dad on the
Chad.
couch?
The Chad.
Is he not the
Who's
brother?
the hanging Chad?
The Chad with the big
hanging
knife,
Chad?
who then put the knife inside his jacket, and everyone's like, "That's just Chad."
Is he the
What
brother?
is the relationship?
I think it's the brother.
Step or blood?
Hang on. Is dad
unsure.
dad or stepdad?
Vibes stepdad.
Vibe stepdad,
Yeah.
right? Didn't have a lot of hard-hitting cues for someone who was pursuing his beloved daughter. So maybe it was stepdad not wanting to step over the line.
True.
Well, it was just good to see Mol and strange to see Chad.
Chad. So is Chad okay? Then is Chad possibly stepdad's son, or is Chad Mol's special friend?
Oh, Chad's nothing to do with Mole. I
Okay.
don't think. No. Because I think Lily put Chad on her story last night asleep. I would look, but I'm not allowed to touch my telephone. So we're just at a loose end here. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Chad is cool.
Okay,
The end.
Jessie comes to meet Chad and the family, gets the same line of questions, but then he goes into not how he wants to have kids while he's young, which means then he was like, it's really cool when you see a 45-year-old with a 15-year-old.
What was that? Was that like they're too old to have a 15-year-old?
No, he's like,
What was the-
I think he made, she's asked, Mum's asked about, do you want to have kids? And he, for some reason, decides that now's a good time to reveal that he would actually really like to have kids young, which is the opposite of what Lily wants, by the way. Like, he's basically saying, I'm ready, because he thinks it's really cool when you see like a 45-year-old with a 15-year-old.
But what was the point of that? Is that young or older? Because that seems to be like bang on the middle.
Oh yeah, that's true, because that's like a 30-year-old having a baby.
Yeah.
That's not young in particular, is it?
Like, was that an older? I thought he was like slighting the
Yeah,
30-year-old
same.
for waiting so long when they were essentially withered and stooped.
But he said he likes
Before
it when he
they-
sees that.
He does
we,
like it.
We really need some clarification on that. Jessie,
It was just a bad interaction all round because
He
because
basically
he said that his parents were older. My parents are older too, which crazy thing to say to Lily's like 26-year-old looking mum.
It was the two that really buried him on that.
Yeah.
If he just said my
Yeah.
parents were older, that could have been just like a standalone statement. But when he
And
added
then
the
he
two
did
to it,
he did the, do you have any kids? Not that I know of. It's like,
I know, don't do that.
don't do that. It's not a good...
It's never good.
well, also
It's
I
hack.
think by now your girlfriend from when you were 17, you'd know whether or not you had any kids with her, and the girl from camp. I mean, that was last year.
The
That was
girl
a really
from
good girl from
Girl
camp.
from camp.
I don't believe either of these people exist.
Someone, it was Lily posted on her Instagram photos of Jessie from his Facebook page from when he was like a tiny little fella. It was like 2013, and he looks so young. It's very sweet.
Poor guy. Was young once.
Shame.
So then Jessie asked the parents or the family what he should know. Was this Jessie? Yeah, what he should know about Lily, or what her weaknesses were. And we found out she's quite a messy person. That doesn't surprise me too much. I put her brother, but Chad, whoever he is, thinks that her tattoos are fine and all, but some of hers are a bit shit. And also she crashed dad/stepdad's car once. I think that there's a lot of stuff they don't know about Lily. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like there's way more interesting stuff that they could have said that they didn't say because they don't know about it.
Well, she's in bloody Thailand, all the time. I feel like they wouldn't even say.
Yeah.
Shoeies.
Only drinks out of shoes.
That's
National shoey.
Weakness or strength?
I think strength.
Strength.
Okay.
Good for the immune system.
Basically, the meet the parents with Lily was fine. No majors. Then we go to the meet the parents with Lesina's parents, and that's it's a bit more intense.
Well,
Just very
Lesina's
tense.
mum is so full on. I mean, I love her, but you can see where Lesina gets it, except that she is just nowhere near as like brazen and like no holds barred as like the chick crown prosecutor that is Lesina's mum.
Aaron was just torn to shreds and spat out in tiny little pieces. He turned up with some grape ties.
That comment that he made
about the dancing, the racial stereotyping. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and the worst thing is, I think he was trying to. It was like a weird attempt at a compliment and self-deprecating, and it just did not land very well at all.
And his jeans were his jeans are tight at the best of times. But the jeans he was wearing on that Meet the Parents, I've got no problem with Richie's hair. I have a big problem with how tight his jeans were. I don't want to see, the buttons of your iPhone through your pocket.
The buttons.
And not to mention other things.
What else did you see?
I don't know, but if I looked harder, I'm sure I could have seen something. Not
Anyway,
appropriate.
what's the square root of 361? Too slow, not smart enough. Get out of my house.
Yeah, that was weird. Was that a joke, or was that?
I feel like maybe some of it was a little bit in jest and a bit of fun, but also a little bit. Can you answer it though? Can you?
What is the answer?
I
I'm
think
so dumb.
I think it's 18. No, it can't be.
361. What, isn't that an odd? Can't that not have one? I don't know how
It does have one. It does.
Does it really?
I thought it was 17 because I was like, it's a
look it
one.
up on the internet.
Anyway,
How cool is her dad as well? What a legend.
yeah, he's cool, and he quite likes
a
Aaron
chilled out
because
legend.
they've got teacher
It's
vibes.
19. It's 19.
It's 19.
19.
My bad. I don't know how the square roots work.
Dad thinks Aaron is high energy, and Mum thinks Aaron is a nice boy and confident. So, despite the grilling and despite the multiple missteps and the tight pants, he seemed to do okay by listening to his parents. It's that classic MKR thing where they go and they sit and review and say terrible things about the meal and then go and give it quite a good score. They've just done that with Aaron.
True. I did like as well when the mum was not even going to give it up to the producer what she thought. She was like,
Oh, yeah.
do you like him? She's like, blink once if you think he's a nice boy. It's amazing.
That's what made me think that she's got a really good sense of humour, and so I think some of the stuff was probably some just gentle ribbing, but it was great television. So then they head off on their fantasy suite, or should we just talk about Logan's experience with the parents first?
Oh yeah, Logan smashed it.
Logan smashed it.
I love Logan now. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's weird.
He came home real strong. No, I think he's revealed himself to be a thoroughly nice young man.
Okay, first of all, Aaron turned up with grape ties. Logan turned up with verve, right? And flowers.
Yes, and flowers.
Does Lesina not drink?
She doesn't drink. I don't think because there was grape ties out.
Oh.
Were they drinking Aaron's grape ties at the Logan date? That feels like a...
Was there grape ties out at when he turned up with the verve? They're drinking Aaron's grape ties
I think they were.
at Logan's meet the parents.
I think they cracked into it.
That is a massive scoop.
Yeah, it is big. It's actually really big. But yeah, I quite liked how he's like, this doesn't make me nervous. I love this. And then he was just like bantering away.
Sorry, okay.
Like absolutely no embarrassment when he was like, yeah, my tattoos say rock and roll.
What do his tattoos do? They represent his crazy wild side. Every tells a story. There's the fella's
Every
phone
tattoo
number.
is a lesson.
Is a lesson in what not to get tattooed.
In rock and roll.
Mum finds out he's into his music and tries to recruit him for a steel band, which was such a great moment.
It was great.
She really, really, really wanted him in the steel band, and I actually don't think that she was joking around.
No.
No.
Are you prepared to be in the steel band? If so, you're actually too good for my daughter, and don't worry, we'll find you a lovely girl. Forget this old thing.
That's cool. It's almost like Lesina went on The Bachelorette as a very, very convoluted way of recruiting potential steel band members. Which is the best reason I can think of.
I feel like there would probably be more success, you know, like was a much greater chance that Logan was going to end up in her mum's steel band than her actually being together with Logan at the end of all this.
Oh man, we need to get her steel band to play the finale of The Real Pod.
Oh my god.
As our house band.
She
might be the girl on the steel drums. Oh. Too
I can
nice. Also, Logan's shirt was way too unbuttoned. I'm sorry to be the fashion police this week, but it was deep V.
Deep V.
Well, what
Too
could you
much
see through the
chest
deep V? Because you made some inquiries about our sort of pictorial confusion during the week. What were the results of those, Alex Casey?
Well, an unnamed source working within the body sculpting profession came back and said they're simply too symmetrical. They're fake.
Do you think that that's true?
Which was just his honest opinion, or hers. And that was that.
Like, I feel like, you know, it's fun to joke about, but do you think that that's real? Do you think that Logan would? Is that...
I feel vindicated is the only thing that I feel.
I think it's that particular shot. Because I don't know, I've been sending you some other pieces of research that I found back through his Instagram, and I don't think they're as pronounced in daylight, for example.
No, but also the photo you sent me had his arms up, which, you know, doesn't give it stretches things out and it flattens the curve. Exactly right.
No, I don't know. It's all just honest opinion, and it's all just fine.
It's fine. It's fine. He can do what he
Depending
wants with his own pecs. We just have to know about it. Thanks.
Yeah.
But to your point, if he's gone to the trouble of getting some lovely pecs by order, he's going to want to show them off, right? And especially given that this is one of his last interactions with Lesina, he's got to pull out all the big guns to try and win her over. And if it's got to be a deep V in front of the parents to catch her eye, then so be it.
That's true.
I mean, until you've walked in their shoes, Alex Casey.
That's true.
And their brogues on their beaches.
Okay, Aaron's fantasy date. So anyway, the parents like Logan. Spoiler alert, doesn't matter. Fantasy suite Aaron was to the glowworms Waitomo. I have never been there myself. You guys? Looks lovely.
It's great. I've been there.
I have
loved
been.
It.
I went there with our mutual friend Justin Moore and Jane.
Oh yeah,
and,
that must have been fun.
On a fantasy date. Ended the night sleeping in a car on Hamilton's main street after an All Blacks test. I loved the Waitomo Caves. They're a cracking good time. You know, when I saw that in the yurt, I was like, this is, you know, how can this not happen? Like, You could go there with your worst enemy and probably end up married, with all that kind of material to work with.
Yeah, the caves are great. A glowworm is actually amazing as well. Did you get the whole spiel about how they kind of like they get food by like spitting, like a long thing of saliva and all of that. They're really disgusting. They're really quite gross, and you got to respect it. They look so great.
Yeah. And when you're in there, you feel like the little drippies, and you're like, "Is that spit?"
Yeah. 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 It was good.
Did you notice that they got a bit orkies in the orkilalas in the caves? There was a moment where he went to kiss her, like lean in for a kiss, and she kind of ducked her head under his chin, so that it landed like on the top of her head, and then he sort of tried again, and she did the same thing. And in that moment, I knew there was no final rose for AMOG.
Wow.
She was struggling with something. She was putting it on for the cameras, but on the inside, she was in a world of turmoil. How is she going to break this young man's heart? On the beach, as it turns out. Anyway, he said to her in the caves, "It's always just been me and you, and I felt really good about it," which is the exact opposite of the premise of this show. It's always been her and him and a whole lot of other guys. So I think he's missed the point there. And her body language was just not that keen.
He said he was like, she's walking through, she's like, "Oh, this is so pretty." And he's like, "Not as pretty as you, though." And she was like, "Haha, giggle, Aaron." And then he's like, "What? I'm always doing stuff like that." I was like, what a weird thing to say about yourself.
Checkmate.
I'm always doing stuff like that. That's so me.
Oh man.
Oh, it's just like setting off a little internal memo. Just at the last minute, just anything you can to chalk up some extra points. Just to remind her that's me all the time. Then they weren't in the yurt, were they? Wasn't it Lily who had the yurt?
They were in something yurt adjacent.
Were they?
Weren't they?
They were definitely in a yurt atop the hill.
Is that a yurt?
With the outdoor baths. Yeah, that's what do you think a yurt is?
Oh, I thought no, Lily was in the glamping yurt thing. Is that not what a yurt? I thought a yurt was a tent thing.
I think that's all a tent in the end of the day.
They had it wherever Aaron and Lesina were. There was a balcony of some description.
Yeah, but yurt can have a balcony.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen maths?
Look, I didn't really take a lot of notice. I was so caught up in the emotion, I wasn't looking at the scenery.
I want to go stay in that yurt. Like, that view was so lovely.
Where were they?
Yurt of the Rings.
What?
I don't know. It's near Waitomo. It's like in the vicinity.
Okay.
It's in Waitomo.
The Rings.
That's okay.
It's totally okay.
It's definitely words. Yeah.
Don't you think with the misty and
yeah?
I'm sure that Hobbiton's like 80 from there.
More words and this time some numbers too. Okay, so Aaron is sitting waiting for his lovely bride to be. He's waiting for that last meal that they're going to spend together before they have a sexy night of passion and then get engaged the following day. But she is having her hair and makeup done, and she is not coping. She's breaking down. She knows that she's got to tell him that this might be it.
The idea of like sobbing uncontrollably while having your hair curled is a fucking nightmare to me.
It is an absolute nightmare. If for some reason it just made me think of like a bride before her wedding, where she's marrying someone she's being forced to marry someone she doesn't want to. And that wasn't really too far off of what was going on here.
Exactly.
But this, I mean, I guess in these last two episodes, well, actually no, the last two episodes we saw Lesina get actually pretty emotional and quite raw for her. She went and chatted to Aaron, and I was I have to say, Aaron redeemed himself a lot to me in this last leg of the race. Like, he had some really good chat. He didn't put any pressure on her, but he just was very open about how he was feeling. And yeah,
that was a great line. He can do a great one-liner when he was like, I'm not gonna leave until you tell me to. I don't know. It was good.
That whole
it was good
that
shit.
whole thing after so many kind of frustrating interactions, that one conversation with her totally fucked and him trembling with wanting to say these big words and her wanting to break up with him, that was incredible. Like it was almost worth, the 100-hour experimental art film of just of Argentina that we had to enjoy to get there. But my God, like that was so loaded. Like you think about two people who go in both smiling gamely with completely different intentions, and just the tension of waiting for that to resolve, and then how weirdly eloquent they both were.
Yeah, I mean,
Amazing.
I sense that what he was saying was he was basically giving her permission to let's have this night, and it's a no pressure situation, but if you want to just have this time with me, let's do that. And I know it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but let's just we have real feelings and we have an opportunity to have some time without the cameras, just us. And then I think she was kind of relieved to have that opportunity, because I think that's what she wanted. I think she did want some time with him, but she didn't feel right about taking that time, as she might be leading him on. But he essentially gave her permission to do that. I feel like it was kind of like an unspoken thing. Oh, you all right there, Alex? Yeah, she's stripping off. Hello.
Just got extremely hot.
It's so hot.
Unrelated to anything.
Sure.
Wow. Crazy.
So who knows what happened in the ute that night? There's only two people who know.
I could guess.
But the next morning they were having lovely cuddles, and yeah, and I thought maybe this is it. Maybe they're back on track. Maybe all will be okay.
No.
Anyway, there was just a moment of silence for what could have been between AMOG and Lesina, and let's move to Logan's fantasy date. He turned up with a really romantic present of
What was it?
rollerblades.
Oh yeah, that's right. I would love that.
They look like good ones too, not like sort of cheapies.
Duncan,
They were
Are you getting Alex a leaving present? Because I've got an idea.
Yeah,
Lockdown rollerblades.
that would actually be really useful right now, eh?
Chance would be a fine thing with
Do you not have to catch?
procuring those.
Don't have to catch public transport. Just make your own way.
Yeah.
Be in control
You'll
of your
never-
physical
you can
distancing.
Sell your car. You got rollerblades.
Definitely break my ankles and put more pressure on the health system. Love it.
Okay, then they go paddleboarding. And she negs him. She's like, "Oh, I just hope he doesn't hurt himself." She's just made him out to be like just a complete bumbling idiot, like totally Gumby.
He is Gumby.
Is he though?
He sucks at paddleboarding.
Whoa, from the paddleboarding expert herself.
I've been out there a couple of times. But man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the supercut of him falling off his board a million times, but he didn't look particularly skilled.
That was the narrative. No matter what, even if he got out 50 times and fell off 5 times, we were only going to ever see the 5 times that he fell off.
Yeah, they probably greased it up.
Quite a rough day at sea. They sit down for a meal. She's absolutely freezing. I always notice when people are cold. It feels like, you remember how at the beginning that was that really cold evening when everyone was coming out of the limos. And yeah, it took me back to that. This was a nice little tie-in. What happened? Well, she just got rid of him, basically.
Yeah,
In summary.
not a lot of fanfare. Also, I just didn't think it was that great a place to eat dinner, like with the tiny little table and the giant chairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then what happens? Then
Logan thanked her though. Thank
Well-
you for breaking up with me.
yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's done. He's been on this journey and he's done what he needed to do, which is get his name out there for his music career. So good on him. And we look forward to that single. Anyway, Lesina dumps Aaron on the beach. It's very sad. And that's it really. I don't know what else to say. It was
Well,
nice.
the big thing, which is of course Jesse's jacket.
Oh,
Fashion
okay.
Police is back, and Jesse is under arrest for that weird jacket.
Are you talking about the jacket
The
for the
rose
final
jacket.
rose?
Yes.
You don't want to talk about any of the dates?
What dates?
Nah.
Oh, I was supposed to say at the top of the podcast, by the way. I was supposed to say that we've got, at the end of this, we've got like a little bonus, which is a recording of Duncan and Alex, because they actually went to the After the Final Rose special live recording. And
Which was a crazy thing. Well, we can. I have to go in typical me fashion, in sort of 10 minutes or so. But we should talk a bit about what that was like as well. I personally found the last 2 episodes like intermittently affecting, but mostly quite boring. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah, I mean, actually, there's really nothing to tell you. Let's just quickly whiz through. Jessie
Let's have a quick whiz.
Jessie went on a helicopter ride with Lily in Waiheke. It was lovely. She invites him to stay the night.
They just got fucking
They
drunk.
got hammered for sure. Then Richie had his final date in Raglan, which is like, if you were to choose somewhere in New Zealand for Richie and Lily to have a date, Raglan is the place. So that was well done. They're all fine. Everything's fine. They're off glamping. There's a final rose. They each choose from 2 rings, which was just a weird
That
thing.
was weird. I didn't like that. I don't like anything about that. Why
Why?
doesn't she give the ring?
Well, okay, that's true. A second thing,
Like a chunky
if
number
you're
for Richie.
if you're so not, and if you're so kind of borderline, not even going to go out, that you can't even say drop an L bomb or like there was no, like, they were sort of into each other enough to date, but no more than that. And so I just felt like the ring.
Counterpoint.
Well, I didn't even get to make my point.
Sorry.
But no, that's all right.
I know you've got to go. I was just trying to speed things along for you. You were saying that like the ring was entirely unnecessary because they're not. It's like they're not even...
I get that you've got to pay the bills, but I just it didn't feel like they had worked their way up to that being emotionally just sort of anything, you know? They should almost have had more fun with it than the sort of pretense.
Obviously,
Give rings to the mums.
The sponsor,
you know?
sponsor contract. Give rings to the mums.
Yeah.
Counterpoint is that Fleur got a ring, and she was chosen because he tossed a coin. He was less than even in like with her.
True.
It's kind of
Jeez, that was a sorry episode.
It was.
Not of the real pod.
No, it was a great episode of the Real Pod. Fantastic.
Highest rating scandal that went around the world.
Okay, so then what happened? Lily gets really upset when she dumps Jessie. That was a really nice moment. Art comforting her, and then all the crew sitting in the background, suddenly realising that they're on camera and dispersing at great speed. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
it was real funny.
Loved it.
And Jessie had a great PSA moment, like his journey was all worth it because an opportunity to show that young men can express their feelings. I actually thought it was quite nice.
Yeah.
The best bit about the final rose is that the 4th season of this franchise that we've had on New Zealand television, they actually had a final rose at the final rose. Lily
did.
Yeah, Lily picked it up and tossed it and said, we don't need this.
Oh shit!
But there was a rose.
I didn't have one.
There
More
was
fake news from the spin-off.
There was a rose there.
Did you? Well, that's a major error.
And then there was a kissing montage, and then we go into the after the final rose. So you guys just quickly tell us your experience.
Well, we've got all the videotape.
Audio tape.
What?
I want to talk about the actual recording of it because there was stuff on stage that we didn't see, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
The after the final
Duncan's
rose.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys tell us about it. Now.
Oh yeah.
Talk
We've
about it.
got a recording. Is that what you mean?
no, but-
You want to play the recording right now?
No, but
Well,
I
I don't
think
know.
we can
Duncan's been
add
talking
the...
for ages and I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Is he talking?
Yeah.
Duncan? No, he's
Am
not. He's
I-
adjusting his
what?
microphone. Is he? Duncan? No. Oh, we've lost him. We've lost Duncan
What's
Gree.
happened?
I don't
How about
know. He's
now?
probably just hit the mute
My
button.
back?
Yep.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Well, like, the recording that we have, which I feel like we built up to be this, like, amazing found footage, this thing that the archivists will be But it did feel quite intense.
I don't think we've actually even told anyone who's listening that we have. I think we started to tell them about the recording. I don't think we finished telling them about the recording.
Okay. So Alex and I went along to After the Final Rose. It was a crazy, crazy scene. The first Bachelor we saw there was Elliot, which eagle-eyed viewers of the final product will have noticed was the one Bachelor who wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they just don't address it, and they never addressed it on the night, and I still think it's one of the great mysteries of our time. Would love to know the answer.
So you saw him at the event, but he wasn't up on stage?
He was like on a berm, like driving up to the theatre, and he looked kind of Christ-like. Like he was wearing like a big kind of open billowy white shirt, really shiny bald head, just like looked like the sun. And there were all these sort of, I guess, worshippers
Minions.
like around him.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, there's Elliot. That was the first, it was so exciting. And then we never saw him again.
Wow.
It's deeply mysterious. And they said that he had a family thing. It was just obviously a lie. It was just so great. But yeah, so we watched the thing. We got the whole thing spoiled for us because that was obviously the only way to do it. And that was real intense to be watching what was on stage, trying to process that. Because Lesina just got lit up in a way that felt very intense and uncomfortable. And suddenly all the guys had sort of prepared this stuff, and I don't think she was prepared for that. But we were also, so we were watching this very intense thing, but also processing the fact that she hadn't picked anyone, and Richie had won, and
it was a lot.
heaps of stuff. It was so much.
And also, when they weren't on stage, the Bachelorettes kind of perched like next to us, because we were in a little like where the seats kind of indented, so there was like a little space, and for a while Lily was like just perched right next to us. And so it was like watching how she was reacting to certain things as well was quite interesting. Interesting.
That was very interesting. I feel like we learnt more about the interpersonal dynamics of the show from that than from the whole show itself.
So my question is, Lily and Lesina actual type mates, good friends, from what you could tell?
If I had to guess, I'm not saying that they weren't on the show, but I feel like they might not be anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
interesting.
just sort of acquaintances.
Okay. That's all right.
That's all right. You've got plenty of acquaintances.
Friends
Liam's
for a reason, friends
awesome.
for a season, friends for life.
Liam's hair was the biggest reveal of the night. Like that's probably the thing that, particularly for you, Alex, because we were really divided over this. I thought it was amazing and cute, and you were like thought it was an abomination. But that kind of rocked us more than anything else, correct?
I loved Liam's hair. Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when your Robin had a little bob cut.
It's true. It was
so
very
cute.
similar to Robin's haircut from when she was 6.
Yeah, I love it. That made me really love it, I have to say, because Robin's just adorable. What else
Kurt was wearing a really sparkly necklace. There's a lot of that on this famous recording that you'll hear soon, mostly.
Oh, yeah. We
His necklace
discussed
was
some stuff that just...
truly dazzling. Truly
this whole
dazzling.
get-up.
And also, when we arrived, so everyone was milling outside the theatre. Oh, well, this is all in the recording. This is all I remember. But Kurt hit his head really hard on a pole when he walked past everybody, like quite baffled by the crowd. Oh, and it just made me weep for Kurt. Poor Kurt.
Oh,
But yeah.
Something interesting that's just kind of been happened post the final, after the final rose screening, is that they were kind of teasing it like. Obviously, we know Richie and Lily get together, but there's this mystery surrounding whether or not they remain together after the final, after the final episode. But the Herald went and printed an interview. They published an interview that they'd done with Richie and Lily. They published it and then quickly unpublished it. And,
really?
Yeah, and the person who wrote the story also posted about it on their own personal Instagram. And quickly unposted about it. So
But did people get the receipts?
Yeah, people got the receipts.
The
Corner got the
quantity
receipts.
sale.
And what was that ahead of screenage?
It was ahead.
Oh, tonight is screenage. Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, tonight was screenage when you're listening to this.
Was screenage,
but yeah.
No, all right.
But yeah, so it happened in the interim, and also Lily also gave away the game by, I think she's commented online somewhere where someone was like, oh, they'll break up in a few months or something. And she was like, actually, it's been 5 months so far, so whatever. So that was botched. They couldn't keep that. They couldn't keep that a secret even for one day. But anyway,
Tell you what
that's
else
fine.
was botched. Quickly, just looking through my notes. Jesse lit up his fart, and we didn't see that on the program. That only came in the bloopers. I would have liked to have seen that in the show.
Alex Casey, we did see it in the show. We've talked about it on this very podcast, and at the time we talked about it, you were like, I don't remember that.
The lighting of the fart.
Yeah.
It's like you've got a blind spot for Jesse's butt and fart and light.
Well, I take back everything.
We talked about how you missed it at the time. We were both
Well, how am I supposed to
flabbergasted.
remember what I've missed?
Okay, but here's
I
the
can't
thing.
do it all.
When we talked about it in the same kind of context. If they showed it in like a montage of funny antics, and I was annoyed that they hadn't shown it as it's, like in its natural environment when it happened as a standalone piece. It was just part of this montage of antics. And then you were like, I missed it. And we assured you it did happen. Duncan also saw it. And then we saw it again after the final rose bloopers. And
It was like I had seen it for the first time, because I guess I had. And
well, I can't wait to
was
talk to you
astounded.
about this again as a big surprise to you
I think
in the
I'm
future.
losing it, honestly. There's a lot of things I keep repeating. Okay, well, I'm scared to say anything else. But there were certain things that we didn't hear in the audience, because they were mic'd, but they weren't projecting mic'd. I don't know if that's a technical term. But when Terence was like, that said that Mark got a Tic Tac sponsorship from his nudes, didn't hear that in the room, and that was pretty funny. The mole just nailed it. Don't you reckon? The mole just
He's totally sorted himself out for some extra work, hey?
such a pro.
Yeah, tough industry right now though.
That's true.
Magic Mark, really, I thought he was great. I loved the way
great.
that he led into AMOG. AMOG got smashed by him and Liam.
Yeah.
Right? The one thing that was annoying was that, because Lily did this amazing reprimand of everybody for being like, he's just not much of a man, or equating kind of manliness with courage on the night. And it was just so eloquent and just perfectly judged and timed.
Mm.
And I don't know how you don't include that. I'm like, what's the point of even having the show if you don't include the best, comment of the night?
That's right. I forgot about that. What about Glenn's defense of when he talked about
Oh my god, this
talked
was
about the
amazing.
articles and stuff in the Herald, and saying that he was a misogynist and a homophobe, and he's like, I'm a personal trainer. I help
He said-
people.
yeah,
I've got a
And I
mum.
have a mum.
He said
The defence rests, Yana.
he just wants to spread the message of love. He's been accused of being a homophobe and a misogynist. Couldn't be further from the truth. I'm a personal trainer after all. I help people.
And then there were so many awkward silences where there was like an applause-worthy line and nothing happened. But when Glenn said, I believe in the power of love, the whole house kind of went down. I was like, come on. What's this upside-down world?
Do you feel that Glenn redeemed himself at all?
No.
On the night he did, because he talked about being sort of an introvert and having trouble making friends, and I just felt quite sorry for him on the night, because it's obviously a bit odd, but
Yeah.
there's space in the world for that. But
Yeah.
I don't think the edit really gave him the credit. If
Yeah.
you pardon the rhyme.
It was
What I
interesting.
did like about the show was how it lingered. Maybe it was just because they couldn't edit around it, but particularly with Lesina, how it just lingered on all her pauses and all her trying to find her words, and it felt really horrible in the room, and I felt that again watching it, and I think it was kind of important to put that across, because
Yeah.
It's quite brave, eh?
yeah.
But it didn't have, during the live show, she actually left the stage and had to go to the audience and just basically, be consoled. It was that savage and that prolonged.
Really?
And then there was that slender an opportunity for her to reply. It was very intense. It was
Wow.
intense as it looks. It was even more so in the room. And I can understand why, once she'd properly processed that, she was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm extremely freaking done.
Yeah, I think you could probably deal with all of that had you walked out of it with someone by your side, that you were in this together, that kind of thing. But coming out on your own and being taken down.
Well, feeling like
She's
there were
very
24
lonely in it.
people,
Yeah.
including Lily, who were sort of against her and didn't feel like there was anyone in her corner.
But then
That's
when Mum
really, really
pops
shit.
up, Mum with the tissues.
Oh, Mum.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Oh my god. Play a sad
mums of the
song on the steel
Bachelorette.
drum. Too
Is that even
much.
possible?
I don't know.
How was Art as a host? My favourite bit was when he talked about Lily and the twist that no one saw coming, except for at least Alex Casey and a handful of other people.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Art did okay. I think it was an exceptionally difficult thing to host, like because there was so much going on and so much unexpected in terms of the lashing of Lesina, that it would have been. It's the kind of situation where having like a Don Bowden who's just done a million of those things, who's able to pivot on the fly, might have been a bit better. But no one knew that going in, and he did the host part of it, and he asked the questions well. But that was just an absolute 10 out of 10 degree of difficulty assignment.
Also, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, none of the men spoke. They were very, very, very reserved. The audience was also very quiet. I don't know, maybe it was just the Naz era and what Naz was like and what that special was like. But I remember there was people hissing and being boo and stuff, and there just wasn't that same, because it just did genuinely just feel so tense. And also I think because we were all finding this out for the first time, a lot of it, so it was different to the last time when people had already watched the show and they knew that Naz was the villain, they knew what happened. There was a bit of kind of catching up to do in the room.
Did they catch you up at the beginning? Did they go, hey, okay, just for context, here's what's happened?
We just watched the kind of supercut thing that opens the show. They played that, and that was just holy shit. And then I was like, I've made a huge mistake, I need to leave. But I'd already found out, so it was fine.
Okay, well, I think now's probably a good time to listen to your hot takes immediately after the event that you recorded on your phone in an Uber, unlike this very professional podcast setup we've got going on here. Which may or may not also be recorded on just 3 telephones. But yeah, let's listen to that. And I just want to say goodbye, Alex Casey.
No,
I'm not. And Duncan Grieve. Goodbye, guys.
I'll say bye to you. Bye.
It's not really bye. It's just see you soon for a Twilight pod. Is that right?
Yeah.
Just ta-ra.
Ta-ra. Toodaloo.
Ta-ra.
Catch you later.
For now.
And grow up, Peter Pan. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening to our silly podcast. Thank you to Nando's for sponsoring our silly podcast. And I don't know what else to say. Duncan, can you say something?
Yeah. Oh, I really want to double down on that. Thanks to Nando's, because I actually think that we wouldn't still be doing it if it wasn't for them. We needed someone to give us a vote of confidence that this was a real thing and not just some utter silliness. And the fact that they've stuck with us and the way the cornies have embraced them, it's all part of why it's worked. So and they're going through some super hard times right now, and I just couldn't appreciate them and the team, Mike's, Alex, everybody more. I couldn't appreciate them more, and same with the cornies, and there's something kind of beautiful and poetic about Alex going to, breaking the fourth wall or crossing the
She's crossing the floor.
Dance floor.
Yeah, crossing the floor to join the opposition / step in the arena, and just very proud of her, and hopefully we'll be back doing something, but if not, it's been an amazing 5 years, and I've treasured every episode.
Oh my god, I can't deal.
I'm not ready for this. Well, you guys know that this was the real pod was the only thing that made me be I can't leave. I can't leave doing that. That's the most fun I have in my life. So I still feel, even though I'm going, that there's still something for us. And that's why Twilight Pod. Every week. Why don't we watch the same movie every week for a year? That's never been done before. No. It's a chaotic time, and the real pod is one of the only kind of totems of safety and calm and fun that I definitely have through all of this, so having to give it up feels like literally like a death. But I will still be in the corner, and we're still going to be friends, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's goodbye for now, but it's not goodbye forever.
Thanks, Alex. We love you.
Alex. One more last shout out to Ricky and Jose and Alice Whiblittle and Tina Tiller and everyone who's ever produced the show as well.
Yes.
Because they've been such a big part of why it was fun and cool and good, and all the people who've ever guested on it.
Colin.
But yeah,
Wayne.
Colin,
Didn't guess,
JT,
but spiritual guest.
NASA calling through.
NASA, yeah.
Tracy Jill.
NASA, unfortunately.
Tracy Jill.
Matoodles and Batley Burton.
Oh my gosh.
That chick from the Bachelor US, Olivia Carida, remember that one?
Yeah.
That's right.
Jordan.
It was
Jordan Major.
Major. Oh,
Oh God, it's been a time.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
wrap it up. That's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine.
It's fine.
Thank you all. Stay safe, everyone. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Be kind. And we'll catch you next time we
we'll
do
catch you
something.
on the flip side.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
This isn't
And we're
good. I
live.
can just see people.
What can you say?
Well, we just saw Tavita and Mark just walk past us, wheeling very large suitcases
Massive suitcases.
up a very long ramp, and I just feel like someone should be doing that for them. We're about to drive past the mall. We just drove past the mall. And
Sunglasses?
Glen.
Yeah.
The mall and Glen getting into a ute
So
together.
the number of foes who have become best friends out the back of this is very strange.
And they're all literally right now just walking around Takapuna with Helen Stein's bags.
And huge, yeah, like you said, huge wheelie suitcases. Except Mike, who's got nothing but his phone and his swag.
Okay, I feel like we're just about to see someone else. No, okay, it's all done. Yeah, that was really intense. No sign of Elliot. So when we arrived at the venue tonight, the Pump House Theatre, you'll all know it well. Elliot was the first thing that I saw. He was a Christ-like figure, arms spread out. His head was shining, gleaming.
Late afternoon sun. He's got his followers around him, desperate to learn his secrets. And we were like, okay, well, so we out the back of that. Our main thing is we know that Elliot's here.
Yeah,
That is the only thing that we know.
for sure.
And then we get into the room, and it takes a while for us to clock that there's no Elliot.
Elliot's not in the lineup of men. Yeah, Tyler's there. You all know.
Frickin' Tyler.
We all know Tyler.
Clayton? You remember
Lads.
Clayton?
Are these lads
Okay, who we
coming
got? Who we got? They've got to be.
It's Connor. It's Connor.
It's Connor.
Yell something about being an anti-vaxxer. I do.
Okay, well, how?
Say,
what
do
I
listen to
say?
the real pod. Do it. Do it.
No. It's really like... Remember to vaccinate! He just raised his fist. That was a beautiful thing.
That was so. I feel like I'm going to be sick again.
Yeah.
Tonight has been too intense.
Okay, so we learnt the end of the show, which you now know. But it's crazy because you process that in real time, and then it's the how people responded to it almost felt bigger somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that Aaron and Mike in particular were just carrying so much still at this distance.
Yeah. Mike in particular, I noticed, sat down extremely rigid, legs extremely wide, whole body tense. Don't know why I'm doing it because you can't say it, and was shaking his leg the entire time. And Aaron was also kind of twitching and stuff, and I was like, something really crazy.
Yeah, that was a bigger tell. Even though when we knew the result, you could tell that there was something seething, and there would be jokes, just kind of easy laughs happen, and Mike was stone faced, nothing was moving him until that came out.
And then he kind of delivered, I think they both did, something they've definitely rehearsed for, the last however many weeks in their homes, telling Lesina how they felt about the way that things ended. And I don't feel like it was properly resolved.
No.
In the filming, I think it was extraordinarily tense, and also with the added pressure of like they have to get certain shit done, that I don't think Lesina got the chance to respond at all to their clearly very well thought out and quite clearly delivered points of view. And
it felt like she was blindsided by that. Like they had, like you said, they've been crafting this stuff in their head for a very long time. They did not. She walked into it thinking it was just going to be a nice, friendly catch up with some mates she hasn't seen for a while, and she left quite quickly afterwards. She kind of broke down at some point. I'm very curious about what goes in and what goes out of the edit, because there are some things we saw tonight that A, will be hard to make television because they were just such long monologues, and B, like, almost felt like, there's this kind of duty of care thing that seems to happen with New Zealand reality, where they sort of look after your image. Because I worry if that were to be sort of approximated on television, how New Zealand responds to Lesina. I'm scared of the takes. Yeah, same. It really surprised me. Like, I didn't realise. I've noticed it a little bit in some of the conversations in the corner and stuff, that some of the cornies don't love Lesina. But I am concerned as well that it's not warranted necessarily. I feel like she's probably been thrown into a hellish situation, and maybe she didn't get the time on stage. But I also don't know if she could have handled that time to actually properly talk about things, because there were a couple of times where they asked her questions and it was just a long kind of rambling, much like I'm kind of doing now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's another thing she does all the time. Do you know what I mean? At the end of every single sentence. It's a Sue Nicholson trick. Is it? To get people on board with what you're saying. I think as well that the way they initially intended to stage the Aaron and the final section where it was Aaron and Logan, Loggy and Moggy, as we realised while we were there. Lesina was supposed to open, and she just couldn't get the words out. She was broken up, and it meant that they opened with Logan and then through to Aaron. And so I wonder if the construction of it, had it gone the way it was meant to, where Lesina kind of says a piece that, because Aaron was talking about closure, and that seemed to be a big theme for her guys, was that they didn't feel like they got it. They didn't feel like they got an honest attempt from her, and as a result of that, her not being able to make that sort of kind of soothing confessional up the front, it just sort of boiled over out of them. Oh, it was so intense. It was intense. Not as intense as Kurt's sparkling chain. It was the sparkliest chain I have ever seen. I hope it really glimmers on camera, because it was taking my eyes out every time I looked at it. Kurt looked like he was auditioning for the role of Tupac in 1995. He had a razor blade, a sparkly razor blade, and a like as you said, they were like the stagiest stage jewels over the top of a black turtleneck. It was like a turtleneck, if you like. Turtleneck. I saw Kurt hit his head extremely hard on a pipe. And it wasn't just any pipe. It was like wrought, like old iron. It was like a Crash Bandicoot. There's a level in Crash Bandicoot Warped where Crash Bandicoot in an industrial world, and he has to duck under and over these really thick industrial pipes, and in that moment Kurt was Crash and he did not make it through. Just full donk, it was a lot, and everyone was looking at him. I loved it. Was he wearing the jewels before he hit his head? Because I'm wondering if those jewels were a decision. No. So when he hit his head, he was not wearing any jewelry. I'm just saying, are these facts related? Something to consider. I'm feeling great. Let me put my scalpel necklace. No, I put a razor blade necklace on. It was real intense. Who was best dressed? Aside from Kurt, obviously. Yeah, I think Kurt is definitely best dressed. I saw a lot of ankles and I saw not many socks. Yeah, so that was Jessie, and that was Tavita. Tavita was wearing an extraordinary amount of ankles. Yeah, those were
really long shorts rather than a trowel.
Also, looked still in a lot of pain.
Yeah,
Like, he isn't
hobbled.
moving right.
No, he limped over to the couch.
Okay, some unexpected friendships. AMOG sat next to Jesse. AMOG got, like, owned by the crowd a bit. There's still tension there, but not with Jesse. Liam and AMOG sort of seemed okay, and then they got in. Well, Liam got into it. Like,
Liam's had a haircut.
Liam's had what
in
is
a
what
big
is it?
way.
I mean, they've seen it now. He's got a freaking in with them and Bob. It is so
It's
fetch.
amazing. It's so sharp.
Yeah.
It seems like a mistake.
So I disagree. This is like we've got quite a profound ideological disagreement on this because I think it really works for him, and it's a good way of saying goodbye to the old Liam. I actually felt really bad for him when Lily, I don't know if this makes the cut, but Lily was like, you know, you've got a lot of growing up to do and blah blah. It's like, imagine having like a 23-year-old say that to you when you're 28 and you've just got that haircut.
You're really emotionally intelligent. You're
and
the most intelligent guy in the house.
Absolutely, and you just had a freaking intense haircut. Like, it's just so much
I
to
think he
absorb.
was kind of pulling it off, I guess, as a look.
Well, he didn't look like he thought he'd made a mistake.
Yeah,
That's
which
9
is
tenths of
like-
the battle with a haircut like that.
Yeah, see, I had that haircut when I was 17, and it was peroxide blonde, and it looked like that, and it was really bad.
Yeah, then we picked
It
up
was
on
really bad.
Real Pod Corner shortly.
Any other thoughts? Mark saved the whole shoot, basically. Finally piped up, and who was
Slid
the
into
first name?
Moggy.
It was Moggy, yeah. Piped up saying that Aaron telling Lily about Liam's thing was more a kind of panic
Yeah.
grab than him being a real man.
Just-
There's a lot of conversation about what a real man should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, and a spastic, which was just completely unconscionable. I'm sure didn't make the edit. That was a Liam special twice.
Yeah.
Lily did a freaking great job, as she did throughout the show, of just calling them out in real time in a really like kind but firm way about ascribing these qualities to masculinity and not to humanity or you know, it's just lame, and that was great.
What was interesting was that they brought out the house mother, Candace, to talk about how, you know, how messy the boys were and keeping them in line and stuff. And, you know, that's just never something that would happen on The Bachelor. There's no way they'd bring out someone to talk about keeping all the women in line, because, again, that's like a gendered thing, and I thought that kind of was not great. I thought it sucked very much.
To be honest, for a show which, to this point, like a season of a show, had felt like it had handled the treacherous waters of all the different kind of gender stuff that's in play pretty well, especially given they had two bachelorettes. Tonight felt like some of that was broken down. I'll be really interested to see if, when it airs, they managed to paper over some of that stuff and that's been something the production has handled, or whether it just kind of got out of control tonight.
Yeah, it was full on. It was a hard gig.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was felt more tense than any bad comedy show I've seen. You know what I mean? Like, as an audience member, it was just quite unpleasant,
I think
but also cool.
it was an incredible thing to be at. Like, on balance, how do you feel about having made the decision to go behind the curtain and get the whole thing spoiled for you like 3 weeks out?
I feel okay about it. As soon as I found out, I felt sick and bad, and that I had made a huge mistake. As soon as I found out what the outcome was, but then the more I think about it, I'm like, what did I really think was going to happen at the end of this show? It's not the craziest thing
No.
that could have happened, and I was glad to see Kurt's glimmering chain. Like, that is the sparkliest thing I've ever seen, and I will die saying that, because I will never see anything sparklier as long as I live.
That's true. And to do a real like awkward ending a la Art Tonight, I think that's a great place to leave it.
See you next time.
what was it? What did he had some amazing line. Oh god, I hope they really ended it.
I don't know.
And as they say, it's time to see you again.
Like and subscribe.
Max Key Corner. I know. I'll never forget you.
Subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spinoff Podcast Network.